You?
Okay, here we go. I'm letting them in. Okay. So welcome everybody to Meditation Town Hall with Lama Surya Das. As you can see, we're just going to show for a moment a few upcoming events, upcoming virtual programs with the Dzogchen Center. Next weekend, Saturday, February 19th, we have Masterclass Session 2. And I'm also posting all this in the chat, and you can click on the links to check them out. February 24th, free member appreciation event. So if you're not a member, please consider becoming one. This looks like a really fun event. I wish I could attend, but it's not in my time zone. March 12th, Masterclass 2, and also March 18th, a spring retreat with special guest Krishna Das, which looks really awesome. Okay, so I think that about covers it. And without further ado, if Lama's ready, I think we're ready to go.
Good morning, everybody. And what a beautiful morning it is here in New England. It's snowing, everything's white, Christmassy. Reminds me of the pilgrims, not the Puritans. Let's talk about the pilgrims and being a pilgrim on the path ourselves together. How beautiful. And to get together like this, to have the time and place and space to do this today on this auspicious day. A wise guy once said, Sunday used to belong to the church. Now it belongs to the NFL. Need I say more? Myself, I've been really enjoying the Olympics. If you keep up with my publications, you've seen my article on Elephant Journal last week about the practice of mudita, the orphaned one of the four boundless, the four Brahma Viharas, the four heartitudes. Mudita, vicarious joy, quelling, the antidote to envy, jealousy, covetousness. Mudita. So check it out in Elephant Journal. And I'm going to mention that today because I've been enjoying the Olympics and the enthusiastic joy of all these elite, masterful, youthful yogi athletes. And as I always say, if we practiced our spiritual life, our spiritual practices, our good deeds, our inner disciplines as much or near as much even as they do, the world would definitely be a better place, and so would we. So today's Sunday. It's a beautiful day to get together and think about Valentine's Day coming up, opening the heart, going beyond partisanship, rooting for our team, but not forgetting what they used to call good sportspersonship. I root for a good game. What's it to me if the Rams win or the Tigers? I'm very equanimous. That's another important one of the four heartitudes, the four boundless: equanimity, impartiality. But that only goes so far. If the Patriots were in it, it would be a whole different matter, but never mind. I digress. Some of us are still sore about the Dodgers leaving Brooklyn. Never mind. I digress. I'm dating myself. Oh, look around. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about except for Ben. Today's also a very auspicious day around here. I get the opportunity to roast my dear friend and former board member of the Dzogchen Foundation, former longtime chairman of the board of the Insight Meditation Society Center in Barre, Massachusetts, Eddie Haubin. I won't tell you how old he is today, but it's barely still double digits. Good old Eddie. Eddie used to sing this song to me. His house is like a museum. He really is a scream. I can't believe when I see him. The Dawes family. Maybe some of you are old enough to remember, know what I'm talking about. Oh, yes, you all are, except for Ben. Anyway, I'm in a good mood today. Lots of fun on the horizon. Eddie, Mr. Metta, another one of the four Brahma Viharas, loving kindness, compassion, vicarious joy, equal to all, the four heartitudes, the four boundless, a wonderful practice. And mudita, vicarious rejoicing, is the orphan of the four. We always hear about metta, loving kindness, and compassion, but what about mudita? And what about equal to all, or equanimity, equal to all? Anyway, I'd like to get a little more into practice today. Valentine's Day is coming up. It would be good to have our hearts and minds a little more settled and focused so we can think about or remember or, I don't know, prioritize sounds a little too strategic and transactional, but remember, think about and prioritize those we really love and who love us, perhaps who haven't heard from us or seen us lately because of various external conditions, and make it a meaningful week of vicarious joy and rejoicing, of loving kindness and wishing well for others, compassion, feeling with others and resonating together and being moved into mutual reciprocal action. Compassion, empathy, resonating with other and moving together. Equal to all, even-handed. Meditation, mindful awareness, self-inquiry, so helpful for these cultivations, to cultivate these Buddhist cardinal virtues, these transformative values. Not just joining the newest fad, but transforming ourselves and the world. And may I add, for the better, not just changing things for the sake of teenage, I don't know what, urgency, let's say. All that is urgent may not be important. Check it out. There's a difference. I was listening to NPR the other day, as I sometimes do, especially when I'm driving. My wife used to call my car the music room. That's where I listen to all my music and books on tapes. Anyway, it seems there's even a dark side to Valentine's Day. I mean, in this secular postmodern era, is nothing sacred? Okay, whatever. Don't look it up. It'll just bug you. Although, truth will out, whatever. But history is hard to really understand and take in entirely. If we knew everything about any subject we have an opinion on, we might have a different opinion. Have you noticed? Who knows the historical origins of the Middle East, for example, or the Caspian and Baltic area where saber rattling is going on? And yet we have such strong opinions about it. We're not the only ones. And yet, without history and learning its lessons, it's very hard to navigate forward very well together. Anyway, think of you all. I hope you'll be my Valentine as I am yours. male, female, or other, equanimous, equal to all, cheerful, kindfulness, all the beautiful things of the day. Sunday, the day of rest. Let's rest on our Buddha seats. Why not? Buddha, Yuda, duh, or whatever you call them, it, no word can encompass. Oma Chigmala Sowadip. Ama Chigmala Sowadip. Oma Chigmala Sowadip. Kapom Yeshikilo. Mapuai Shingi Lab Nampangi Shingi Lab Kusuntugi Chichet Bohop Maya Shenga Bata Basho Tapasho Tapasho. Mother Machig, to you we pray. Empower us, transmit to us your awakened body, energy, and heart mind. May we attain your realization of imminent gnosis, Prajna Paramita, awakened awareness, transcendental wisdom, Prajna Paramita, Panacean awareness, wisdom, for the boundless benefit of one and all. And homage to the Buddha, light, the God, the goddesses, in your seat, don't overlook them. Just sitting, just breathing, just being present, aware, kindful, lucid, attentive. We hear a lot in Buddhist translations. It could sound like jargon, even in English, like luminosity, radiance, clear light, transparent, clear. Lucidity might be the right word, not wattage of the optic nerve, the clear light, but lucidity. Mirror-like awareness, not holding on to anything that's reflected in it. Sky-like nature of heart and mind, with room for everything, all kinds of weather. Not holding on to the bird tracks or the clouds that pass through, the sky-like nature, the infinite nature of Buddha mind, the heart mind, the soul of the spirit. The great sphere, the big table, the ultimate sphere of luminosity, Dharmakaya. Cultivating it, becoming it, being it. As Michael Caine said, wear the crown, become the crown, be the crown. Thank you, Elizabeth. Ah.
Lama, can you please turn your video on?
Oh my God. Sure, you didn't miss anything. I'm just sitting here. Okay, let's start again. No, never mind. It's too late. What is wrong with this picture? Assume the crown, become the crown, be the crown. I mean, Buddha. Sugar canes for the Sangha. Thank you, Elizabeth. Just sitting, just breathing, just being, assuming your rightful place, standing up for yourself, taking your place in life, not hesitant, not hiding the light under a bushel or whatever, walking through fear also. See, aren't you the right person in the right place at the right moment, as they say in the Vajrayana, the 5 endowments, the 5 perfections, and so forth. Assume your Buddha seat on the spot, on the dot. Rely on pure presence, open, attentive, lucidly aware, incandescently present. Awareness with a capital A plus, just being with a capital B plus. See how it is? Just seeing. This awareness is free. Assume your Buddha seat. Don the Bodhisattva crown, be a crown. Oh, Bodhisattvas, just straight ahead 10,000 years, as the Zen master said. Just sitting, natural bodies, Buddha's body, Nirmanakaya Tulku. Just breathing, natural breath and energy is Buddha's breath, the flow, the great Tao, the zone. Just being in the zone. Not spacing out or zoning out, but spacious in the zone with a capital Z. Not zoning out. Same word, enhanced meaning. Spacious, lucid, vividly aware, awakeful. Awareness of breathing, basic Buddhist shamatha, shine, concentration, meditation. The breath is an anchor to present awareness, concentrating lightly on the breath, maybe 40%, the Chogyam Trungpa taught, and the rest on awareness flow itself, panoramic awareness, total awareness, the big picture, naturalness is the way, the lamp in the life. Just sitting, just breathing, just being present and aware. The 3 meditators' jewels, open, lucid, spontaneous. Mahamudra refuge. Set them in the heart center, the heart cave, on the spot, on the dot. Be the Valentine of the heart cave. Like a candle flame, eternal flame burning in that secret, sacred niche. Heart cave, that sacred space. And see, inside is huger than the outside. Let everything go, letting go, letting come and go, letting be. Enjoy the joy of luminous, natural meditation, pure presence, with the With now this awareness, the authentic, unfabricated, unborn, undying, changeless, within within. Yamahu. Why not? Who else? Yamahu. Thank you. Oh, exhaling, emptying yourself totally, letting go. Feel the death with each out breath, relinquishing, dropping everything, and then being reborn again, reinvented, spiritual rebirth with every in breath. Ah, how sweet it is, inspiring, inspiration, no expiration date. This breath, only breath. This moment as if only moment. Now in this awareness, where else could one ever be? Beyond time and space in the fourth fraction. Now in this divine time, eternal instant, holding eternity, holy now. Holy cow. Oh. Oh. Hi, Vince. Big brother's watching you. Oh. Out two. Not one, beyond duality, beyond oneness. Oneness can only take you so far. Beyond noneness as well. Beyond outside and inside. Exhalation, inhalation, just the mutual reciprocity, a totality, a wholeness. The wheel of luminosity that turns day and night, as Kinsey Rinpoche called it. Even in sleep, the dawn wheels of luminosity turning. In our mill, flow, doing it all without our interference, manipulation, judgment, or evaluation. So just letting go, letting be, open to the wisdom of allowing. There's great peace, nirvanic peace, and things left just as they are. Check it out. So leave it as is and rest the very heart and mind. See through everything, just be through everything, remain at home, at ease, incandescent present, lucid, grateful, whole, wondrous, amazing. Thank you, yes. Eyes open, ears open, nose open, mouth open, go a little gaga. Come out of the conning tower, go a little gaga, do a little, come down into your heart, into your solar plexus, your abdomen, your navel, your hara. Come down out of the arid desert of the head, of intellect, into the warm, juicy, feeling full oasis of the heart, the soul, your hara. This feeling, only feeling, and feeling, just feeling, nothing to think about, nothing to do about it, just experiencing it for the moment. You might respond differently. Calm, clear, lucid, feeling, and hearing, just hearing, nothing to listen to, no one hearing it, as Buddha said, in the whole. The lights are on, but who's home? No one's home. Who knows? Who's on first? No one can say for sure. No. Eyes open, ears open, nose open, mouth open, throat open, heart and mind totally open, at ease, deconstricted, decontracted, beyond reference points, not looking outside or inside for anything, or getting stuck in between. The flow of awareness, what do we call it? Pure presence, with the empty, open, luminous, lucid, aware, if we must, awakeful, attentive, present, and accountable. No, not two, not one, not nothing. So it's not many. Thank you. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. May all beings everywhere be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace and harmony in the world. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey. The great way is not difficult for those who have few preferences. When attachment and aversion are absent, everything flows naturally. Make the slightest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are as if far apart. This is from the Trust in the Heart Sutra, the poem by the third Zen ancestor of China. You can look it up. It's a long 3 or 4 page poem. I've read it so many times in Richard Clark's brilliant translation from the 70s. Richard Clark, Trust in the Heart Sutra. This is not about the Heart Sutra. Trust in the Heart. It's a long poem by the third ancestor, Zen master of China. I've read it so many times that I pretty much know it by heart, but it's wrong. My memory is feeble. But it's a great teaching. It's marvelous. It has a lot of deep juice and pithy instructions in it about perhaps the earliest form of non-binary correctness, non-duality, not two, as he translated to it with a hyphen. The way is not difficult for those who have not few preferences. Isn't that marvelous? How sweet it is. The old masters trained in their original natural habitats in the old country, totally immersed for many decades before coming out to share with the world, seem to be going. So, and we to pick up the torch, can we carry it on and pay it forward? Not just be consumers, but also distributors of all that we've received, paying it forward with gratitude and appreciation, with or without any formal role or title. Even bodhisattvas wearing the bodhisattva crown. Look it up. Crown with the 5 leaves, the 5 wisdoms. Being the crown. Living it, seeing the bodhicitta in everyone and everything. It's a wonderful way, combining heart and mind, body and soul, energy and spirit, self and others, the animate and the inanimate universe. The environment that we've come to see is so crucially important to our continuity and wellness. We're interconnected, interdependent, interwoven, interbeing. Just to Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh's word, interbeing, interconnected, interwoven, interpenetrative, inseparable, interconnected, like the global economy today, like the global environment, like the importance of world peace and harmony. Any questions, please, or sharing?
Lama, someone was wondering what picture you showed during chanting, because I had the Om Mani Padme up on the screen sharing, so we couldn't see.
It's one of my favorite pictures of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in a meditative mood, as he does every morning and night for a few hours. And that's not all he does. So you don't get the wrong idea or try to imitate that and become a quietist. Here is His Holiness on the treadmill, which I can't testify that he does every day, but here he is in his quarters in Dharamsala on the treadmill. Good for him. Long life to him and all who sail with him and on him. Perhaps you've heard me say that I heard him say himself, so I'm not just telling you something I read on the internet, which is so full of all kinds of facts, alternative facts, and other things. He said he was going to live to be 94 or maybe even 102. Then he looked at Bob Thurman. It was at a dinner in New York benefit, and he said that Mr. Tibet, Professor Thurman, Geshe Tenzin, whatever you call him, Uma Thurman's father, Bob Thurman, who's done as much for Tibetan Buddhism in the Western world as anyone. Bob Thurman, our buddy, His Holiness said to him, and Bob, you must live as long as I am alive. You must stay alive too. And I could see Bob, whose mind is unbelievably quick, but still he's trying to work it out. Dalai Lama, 94, 102. Me has to be, oh God, how am I going to make it to 98? It was pretty funny. You got to love it. So in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, and maybe in other places, but in Tibetan liturgy, we have a certain amount of prayers called longevity prayers, long life supplications, long life empowerments, whatever you call them. And of course, the outer form seems to be about mortal life, but innerly it's about being in touch with or getting in touch with or realizing the birthless and deathless Dharmakaya, the unborn and undying Dharmakaya. And if you think Buddha said everything is impermanent, he didn't. He said all compounded phenomena are impermanent. That means everything that's put together is impermanent. Anyway, Buddha called it deathless nirvana. So we practice these things. We're really not just trying to live long for our selfish or physical, sensual benefits, or even for the kids, the kids and great grandkids, but to fulfill our bodhisattva vow to be in service of the world and benefit to all. This body like a temple or a vehicle of deliverance. That's it. Questions, please.
Rob asks, how does bodhicitta relate to the four immeasurables? Is it just another way of describing bodhicitta?
No, they're like cousins. Let me take the commonality first. When we practice the foundational practices of Vajrayana, the Nundro, the foundational practices, first there's refuge and then bodhicitta cultivation. Bodhicitta, the awakened heart mind of the bodhisattva. We do that practice partly by chanting the four immeasurables 108,000 times. So we repeat it and we think about it a lot. So that's one good way to cultivate bodhicitta. Are you with me, Rob? By chanting the four immeasurables, loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, and the sort of verse that goes along with each of them. May all beings be happy, and so on is the verse for loving kindness. But there's more to it. So we chant and contemplate them, and it's a reflection and like a prayer. May all beings be happy and have the root of happiness, which is virtue. May all beings be free from suffering and be free of the root of suffering and misery, which is unwholesomeness, and so on, the four of them. So that's general. Now, maybe a general commonality, maybe, but on the other hand, if you're going to talk Buddhology and define Sanskrit terms, then you have to say that in bodhicitta, there's absolute bodhicitta, which is prajna or shunyata, which is wisdom, absolute truth, and the relative bodhicitta about goodness and good deeds and good karma and helpfulness and all the 5, 6, 10 paramitas. You with me? So just to keep it simple, so bodhicitta is maybe bigger than the 4 boundless. Interesting, however, on the other hand, the 4 boundless, especially loving kindness, metta, maitri, are very, very useful in the sutra tradition in the southern schools in Theravada in developing the great samadhis called the 8 jhanas, the 8 concentrated absorptions. And they use these 4 bounds, especially loving kindness, to develop those. So there's a specialty of the 4 boundless there. So they're very similar and a little different also. The 4 boundless, the Brahma Viharas, hard to translate, divine abodes, 4 immeasurable qualities. Again, loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equal to all. How the gods roll, how the gods abide in Buddhist cosmology. So, boundless loving kindness, and so on. Bodhicitta is the innate Buddha nature, as well as compassion and altruism in action, absolute and relative sort of side. So it's a little vaster. Good question for you Buddhologists, and it's a very interesting one. Joseph Goldstein, Buddhist mindfulness pioneer, perhaps in this country, he said, he thanked Nyosho Kempo and Khyentse Rinpoche and me to some extent, and my teachers, for introducing him to bodhicitta, as he had been a Theravadan Buddhist and mostly concentrating on personal liberation or individual enlightenment until he met this Dzogchen bodhicitta teaching, bodhicitta relative and absolute. So it's a great tradition of the Bodhisattva Yana, the way of the spiritual heroes, the bodhisattvas. This precious bodhicitta, indispensable bodhicitta. Nyoshin Khenpo Rinpoche has a poem about it in praise of bodhicitta. You can see it in our book, Natural Great Perfection. You can probably find it in our archives or on our website or somewhere. Where he says bodhicitta is like the armor that protects us from misdeeds, meaning our own misdeeds. Bodhicitta is like the steed that carries us further than we can walk or run. Bodhicitta is the heart of the bodhisattva, is the engine of the great vehicle, Mahayana, great vehicle of enlightenment, and so on. Toward the end, he says something like, without bodhicitta, staying in a cave just makes a big pile of poop, loose translation, etc. Questions, please.
Mama, we have about a minute and a half, so. Oh, this is tough job.
What's tough about it?
Not going over
Kala
time.
Rinpoche, I'm not joking. I was apologizing to Kala Rinpoche once for something I did when we had brought him to America, and I don't know, I was in charge of driving him around and organizing things. And I apologized for something or other. I must have screwed up. This is 1977 when I still was capable of screwing up. But it's a joke. He said memorably, of course, nothing is hard. He didn't say it's okay, you're forgiven, don't worry. Just consider it breakage, the things that people say. He said, nothing is difficult for me. That's all he said. It was a great relief. It meant him, nothing is difficult for me.
Well, thank you for that story, Lama, and I think we'll wrap it up here. This has been a wonderful session. I'm just going to share about our upcoming spring retreat with special guest Krishna Das, the Das brothers. Healing heart, mind, body, and soul, the union of wisdom and devotion. So, and I'll again post in the chat our upcoming events. As usual, please consider, if you're not already, becoming a member of the Dzogchen Foundation to support these teachings and making a donation. Thank you so much, Lama, for your time and your sharing your wisdom with us today.
Thanks, Ben, for your help, and Ben La, and all of you who sailed together on this great voyage. Love to one and all. Take care. Stay healthy and sane.